Hi guys, welcome to Life Behind Barlows. We're sitting down with Frank Turner, the man himself. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you, and my day's going well so far.
Oh, good. Well, hopefully it gets better.
Yeah, I mean, we're in it. Well, I say that. I mean, Atlanta, I've got up, I ran some errands, they went well. I just recorded some vocals, some demos, that's gone well. Very sad to hear news about Orlando this morning, of course.
Yeah, I did see that.
We were a mile and a half away from where the shooting happened.
Oh, really?
And left about 5 minutes before it happened.
Oh my God.
So we had no idea until we woke up this morning.
Oh.
But it's a shitty thing. So, sadness for Orlando.
But barring that, hopefully everything else is going.
Yeah, that is. I mean, this is our last date with Gogol Bordello. I mean, the tour rolls on ever onwards after that.
Yeah.
No
Jason
rest for
Isbell's
the
next,
wicked.
I think?
Jason Isbell starts on Tuesday.
Okay.
And it's Sunday today for the viewers at home. So we've got 1 day off in between tours.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm going to spend in Cincinnati. It's one tour. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Jason Isbell, a few shows with Chris Stapleton, and then back for German festivals, UK festivals, German festivals, and then back to the States for Flogging Molly.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So keeping myself out of trouble.
All right. So we actually just saw you headlining with Two Guy Garage not long ago.
Yeah.
How does your performance or set list change, like from, because we're obviously going on before Gogol Bordello tonight? Does your performance change at all?
Yes, it does. I mean, but perhaps not in obvious ways. I mean, I think that a better example almost in a way to discuss this is the Jason Isbell thing, because Jason's music is kind of at the softer end of the spectrum than mine. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm a death metal act, but I think what we do is a little bit, certainly live is a little bit more aggressive. And I'm probably going to change up the set list I do for Jason's show, but that doesn't mean that I'm just going to play soft songs.
Okay.
It just means that you want to bring people in before you hit them in the face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get
Whereas
that.
for the Gogol shows, because the people who don't know who we are who've come to see Gogol are people who like a punk rock show, so we're starting abrasively, and then if we're doing kind of softer stuff, we do it kind of in the middle. So it's little things like that. I mean, we tend to play a more similar set list night on night when we're being a support band, because it's quite finely tuned to win a crowd.
Okay.
I mean, it's something I've been yakking on about for years, but as what I do, I'm a professional entertainer more than anything else, and my job is to make sure everyone tonight has a good time. And if people know your songs, that's a lot easier to do. Trying to make people who don't know who you are have a good time is a more challenging thing. So, I mean, every song that's in the set list we're playing tonight is calculated to hit a certain kind of point with the audience. And I mean, I don't really do very much else or think about much else with my time, so... but yeah, so it's the set lists are a little bit different. I mean, with a headline show, you've got a bit more leeway to just sort of have fun. People do get to see you. I guess the other thing that's been kind of cool on this tour actually is it's been a really long time since we did many sports shows, and because festival builds are a whole other thing again. There's something really satisfying about being a support band, because it's like you walk out on stage. I mean, it's slightly different Gogol because it's sort of technically co-headline or whatever, but with the Jason shows, it's like there's 3,000 people here who don't give a shit, and we've got 45 minutes to give them a reason to come and buy a CD or a T-shirt or whatever, or and to sort of engage with what we do, and there's something really kind of tangible about kind of walking out to people sort of going,
Who's kind of like, who is this guy?
And then 45 minutes later, if you've succeeded in your own mission, you have everyone kind of going, okay, and cheering along, and that's it's like you can feel yourself achieving.
There you go.
I assume you don't do the request set during the opening acts?
Not as much. I mean, we've sort of got a spot in the set, because I mean, particularly for these shows, just because I know that there's a lot of people who are coming just to see us, and it's been a while since we were in Atlanta, for example, or more so Florida actually. So where I try and get a little bit in, but I mean, it's the whole thing of requests kind of and sort of changing up set lists every night is something I spend a lot of time losing sleep over, and maybe I shouldn't, but it's on the one hand, it's like I don't want to sort of repeat myself and be mechanical about what I do, and I don't want to have kind of scripted stage banter or whatever, but at the same time, some things work and some things don't, and it's slightly frustrating to me sometimes when you get people who come to like 7 shows in a row in wildly different places and then complain that they're the same, because it's I'm not saying that.
Sorry about that.
No. But the thing is, I mean, it's just that thing is like, if you went to see a play 2 nights in a row, you wouldn't complain that the ending is the same.
No.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, we do what we do. I mean, like I say, it's not quite the same as that, and I'm not counting you guys in that. I love it when people come to multiple nights, and as you guys hopefully can attest, when we do headline shows, we mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's like, people are like, oh well, you played a lot of the same songs you played last night, and it's like, yeah, but you know, if there's 3 people who are here who were there last night, and there's 997 people who weren't, and then I don't play I Still Believe in Recovery and stuff like that, it's like cool.
Make sure that's in their form.
Yeah, you know, there's and then actually, if you start adding up the list of songs that I kind of feel like I'm sort of duty bound to play, because the songs people want to hear, then there's actually not that much room for everyone to say the same thing. But I mean, yeah, and the thing is, I could be completely contrarian about it and just go ahead and play a set list of whatever the fuck I want to play, but I don't think that would make for a good show.
Okay, that's fair.
Anyway, but I mean, my point is, I spend way too much time thinking about this shit. I should probably just kind of enjoy myself.
And I've always wondered, is there like one song? I assume you put so much energy in every song you do. Is there one song that you just really love playing live? That it's like
the most fun song.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's an obvious answer, but 4 Simple Words is fun just because I get to ditch the guitar and go mountaineering, and particularly the last couple of nights, I've been having fun trying to get to different bits of the venue. So I was on the bar last night.
Trying to crowd surf around.
Yeah, the night where were we the night before? We were in Fort Lauderdale. I made it to the staircase at the back of the room.
Nice. Really?
That's impressive.
So I'm gonna have a look around the venue and see where I can get to today. It's kind of, and that's fun, you know. It's like mountaineering.
Yeah,
there's like a balcony. Maybe we can try that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like it's quite interesting. I've got friends who are like professional skaters and stuff, and they talk about how like there's a certain lack of fear you have before you turn 25, which you need to kind of like tap into when you're becoming a skater. I'm 34. I'm scared of hurting myself now.
Do you have a lot of like crowd participation? Like you usually have someone coming up like doing harmonica for dance or something like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever invited people on stage and then been like, "Fuck, I wish I like has it like gone wrong," sort of?
Yeah. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna grab my coffee.
Yeah, go for it.
This is excellent television.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's never quite been disastrous because. Again, like, I mean, it's something I found. Okay, I am answering your question. I promise. I just talked to myself.
You're good.
I have a couple of friends who are stand-up comedians, and I find it really, really interesting talking to them about the differences and similarities between what they do and what we do, because there are a lot of things that you have in common, and obviously there are a lot of things that are different too. But the whole business of controlling an audience is kind of, that's what I do between songs, and to some extent during songs, but that's what they do for the whole set. So I'm always more ears when I speak to a stand-up comedian about what they do, and like. My friend Johnny Orson, by the way, is a stand-up comedian. He's amazing. AWSUN. There's a plug. But he was like, he had a really interesting thing, like, and it's kind of stuff that I think stand-up comedians sort of almost get taught explicitly, whereas I feel like I've kind of felt my way to it over the years. But it's like, you never ask an open-ended question. You don't go, has anyone seen a film recently? You go, have you seen this film?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're controlling the possible outcomes. So hopefully the bits when we get somebody up on stage, there are sort of parameters around it that hopefully sort of control what somebody may or may not say. And it usually works. I mean, we had one the other night where there was a girl wearing a sash in the audience, and she was obviously celebrating something, and I wanted to get somebody up to crowd surf. And I thought it would be cool to get her up. Were you guys at that show?
I was about to say, I was actually baiting the story. I was hoping to tell it.
And it turned out it was her hen do. I don't think she really knew who we were particularly.
Oh, really?
I think her friends were keener on the event than we were. She was certainly doing that thing of trying to look like she was singing along, and obviously not.
But didn't know any of the words.
But yeah, and I mean the thing is, I invited her off stage, but the whole kind of like, you guys call it the bachelorette party, right?
Yeah,
we call it a hen do.
Yeah.
But like the whole bachelorette party came up on stage, and they were all shit hammered. And there was a brief moment where I was like, I've lost control of the party. Like, this is a disaster. But it was fine.
I mean, her friend ended up doing it, and actually it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't do it because she wasn't. Oh fuck it! She wasn't wearing any underwear, and she was wearing a dress.
I was wondering what she whispered to you, and you were like,
I started talking her through her crowd surf, and she just kind of grabbed me and went, "I'm not wearing any panties," and I was like, "That's delightful."
Yeah, all discussing what the hell like she possibly said. Okay,
but she had and none of her friends were, and only one of her bachelorette party was wearing trousers.
Yeah,
wow. So she was the one who did the crowd surf.
Well, that's a bachelorette party.
Yeah, well,
I was wondering about that since the show.
I mean, anyway, so that was. I mean, that was a brief moment.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, but generally speaking, it's cool, and you get kind of fun surprises. And I try and get young kids up on stage if I can, if I have to do the harmonica thing, because that's fun. we had a guy up last night. We had a Russian guy called Dimitri who got up and was like, "I know how to play the harmonica," and it was like, "Fuck!" And he totally did. As well.
Really?
So that was really cool. That was fun.
That's always fun when you get a good harmonicist.
That's good.
Harmonican?
We did
Harmonica.
one show, and I want to say it was in Columbus, Ohio, but I'm guessing because it was 6 years ago. Well, on the first tour we did the harmonica shtick thing was with Flogging Molly, and we pulled a guy up out of the crowd who was like a fucking like the guy out of Blues Traveler, and he
Really?
was just, I started trying to teach him how to play harmonica, and he was like, "I got this."
I got this.
And it was just like, "Oh, okay, you can play harmonica better than I can play guitar, so you just crack along, my friend, and have fun." So, but yeah, you know, it's kind of. I mean, I know, you know, again, it is. There's a degree to which it's a shtick, but I mean, first of all, like, I mean, as I said before, I'm an entertainer, and I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah.
And secondly, it's an effective way of demonstrating something, which is that I like to break down the barrier between the crowd and the audience, you know. And it's part of the reason I used to sling my own merch, and though I'm not doing that these days, I do go out and hang out with merch every night on this tour, and that's kind of fun. And you know, try and meet people at shows or whatever. That's how we met.
Yeah, there you go.
that's true. Oh, during
Beautiful.
Neil's birthday party.
Yeah,
Neil
Neil.
Kangaroo.
Yes, yes, indeed.
So you've been doing this for like 11 years now. You're a solo act, or
Yeah, I mean, well, I did. Yes.
Okay.
There we go.
And I was wondering because I was just listening to Sleep Is for the Week not long ago, and then I listened to Positive Songs like right after it. I was wondering like, is your songwriting either the process or like the end result? Have you seen like a drastic change?
Yeah,
from
yeah.
then?
I mean, well, the first point on that is that hopefully yes, and just not even in terms of kind of improvement or whatever, just in the sense that I don't want to repeat myself. So
Okay.
hopefully I'm not doing the same thing. I mean, my methodology is reasonably similar in the sense that it's quite haphazard. It's just sort of fishing for melodic and lyrical ideas and then sort of jamming them into each other and seeing what happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the way that I would put it is this, which is that, I mean, some aspects of songwriting got easier for me and some have got harder. The bit that's got harder is, I guess, I want to say like subject matter and sort of trying to do things that are new to me. I mean, when you first start writing songs as a new artist, it's like you can write that simple love song and you can write a song that's in E minor that's got a C and a G in it. And it's, do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's low-hanging fruit. The world is your oyster kind of thing. I don't want to write another song that sounds the same as Still Believe or the same as Ballad of Me and My Friends or whatever. So every time I sit down with the guitar, I'm trying to not play those songs again. I'm not always successful in that, of course. And then similarly, I don't want to write more songs repeating myself lyrically either. So that part is harder, finding things to say and ways to say them. That said, once I've kind of latched onto an idea and a methodology and a direction and all that kind of thing, getting from the sort of basics to a finished song is now a much quicker process, simply because there is a degree of songwriting that is craft rather than art. You know, it's a 50-50 thing, but like I now know sort of about things like songwriting arcs and about sort of like mood and direction and pacing and that kind of thing in a way that I didn't when I in Sleep Is for the Week. There are songs on Sleep Is for the Week which really, I mean, historical counterfactualism is a waste of time, so I'm not going to sit here thinking, oh, if I could change this, that and the other. I mean, although, god damn it, the snare drum sound on that record makes me want to throw myself through an open window. But you know, there are songs on Sleep Is for the Week which, listening to it now, I guess the best way of putting it is, if I was writing those songs now, there are a lot of things I would do differently. I mean, particularly just in terms of kind of like editing. I think that I spend a lot of time. Some of my go-to refresher courses on songwriting are the Beatles and Black Flag, which I know sounds weird,
Yeah.
but the reason for that is they're both in very, very succinct songwriting. Like Fix Me, my favourite Black Flag song, is 48 seconds long.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's got 2 verses and 2 choruses in it. It does everything a song needs to do in a very short space of time. Similarly, particularly early Beatles stuff, you listen to the first 3 or 4 Beatles albums, there is no fat on those songs. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they're mostly 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
And they do verses, chorus, middle eights, key changes, and all the fucking rest of it without like missing a beat. You know, and it's like, and then you kind of sit down and it's like, shit, that song's 4.5 minutes long. And it's obviously songwriting isn't maths, so
Yeah.
that's a slightly trite way of putting it, but I mean it's quite a good kind of salutary lesson in brevity, I think, and I think that's important.
Do you have plans for like a new record? I saw you just working on something. Is that B-side?
Yeah, that's no. I'm 8 songs deep demoing a new album at the minute,
Wow.
which is going to be quite radically different from anything I've done before, and that is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I
That sounds
don't want
like
to pry at that.
Yeah.
I mean, well. Having said that,
Okay.
my caveat on that is just that when I started doing solo stuff, having left Million Dead, I was with the impression that what I was doing couldn't have been any more different from Million Dead, and quite a lot of people went, "Oh yeah, I like this because I like Million Dead," and I was like, I guess it's still me
Yeah, it's
doing
still your
it.
voice,
I
I
guess
guess,
is my
right.
point. Yeah, quite. I mean, it's, you know, I really want to talk about it. I'm not going to do it.
It's a Life Behind Barlows exclusive.
There you go.
Yeah.
Finally,
Spoiled
some
it for
Life
10
Behind
people.
Barlows exposure. So,
Anyway.
I noticed you used to do a bunch of, I don't know if you still do, the tour diaries on like YouTube and stuff.
Yeah,
Or...
I mean, we did those when I sort of had less to do. I think
Oh, okay.
is the simplest way of putting it. Like, I did those when I kind of like when we were touring hard, but I didn't have that much kind of press and stuff to do.
Okay.
And then like I started doing loads of more press and just kind of and also I mean it's just kind of like I've tried to sort of diversify my personality a bit as I get older. I'm trying to sort of read more and get out and walk around more and not just spend all my waking hours being focused on the Frank Turner project. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like, I like to work hard at what I do, but I don't want to. There was a bit of a moment when I realised I was just turning into quite a boring person to have a conversation with, because the only thing I could really talk about was me and what I do. You know, like, it's like shit, man. Like broaden your horizons, you know. So I mean, I enjoyed them a lot, and I'm really glad we made them at the time that we did, because it was every band, you kind of go through that transitional phase when you're kind of going from, playing at the weekends to doing it full time, and I feel like in a way that's the period of time that we particularly documented with those. So it's kind of fun to watch them back. But I mean, I guess we were discussing doing another one of those sometime soon. Like maybe we'll do a concert like the Flogging Molly tour or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you have plans for like getting like a crew doing like an actual like documentary kind of style thing, or?
Yes, possibly. There's oh god,
You seem unsure.
No. It's just I'm trying to remember what I'm allowed to talk about and what I'm not.
Oh, right.
There's some stuff coming soon.
Okay.
All right. That's
Well, yeah.
That's good to know. How are we doing on time?
I think we have time for one more.
Sure.
We want to end it with Matt and I discussed this extensively. We were wondering, of you or the Sleeping Souls, if God forbid there's a zombie apocalypse, who would survive the longest? Do you think? We have our own theories, but
I think. Wow. That's a good question. I don't think I'd survive very long.
No.
Why not?
No, just because I'm a creature of habit.
But they would study your pattern and know how to get to you.
Well, and I just get all upset when things got different.
Of course.
No, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it's hard to say. I can think of pluses and minuses for everybody. I mean, I think Nigel's
That's who I said was
very.
Nigel.
Yeah, I think Nigel's very resourceful. Nigel's going to live longer than all of us anyway. 'Cause
Yeah.
he doesn't and never has smoked and drunk or taken
really?
drugs. So he's a clean living individual.
Seems scrappy too. I think he could take care of himself.
Yeah. Ben kind of knows more of the world than anybody, because ever since we started touring, he's always been the guy who just goes out and walks around and looks at shit. So he could probably. In fact, hold on. Let's talk about this a different way. We're a team. This is how we collectively.
Okay. You're working together.
The zombie apocalypse.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So Ben's like the route finder, right?
Okay.
Nigel's the kind of like food scout, if you know what I
He'd be
mean.
the gatherer.
Yeah, he's exactly. Tarrant is the warrior. Tarrant would
That was
definitely.
Matt said Tarrant.
There's something behind his eyes, like he
Oh
sees
yeah.
stuff.
Tarrant would definitely defend us in the zombie situation. He can also. Tarrant runs a van hire company as well and knows everything about vehicles. He runs van and tour bus hire company. That's his other thing he
That'd
does.
be very useful.
So he could like armor plate a tour bus for us reasonably. I mean, he's probably already done that.
Yeah.
And then
Sounds like you have no faith in Matt.
Matt's our bon vivant. He's our socialite and bon vivant of the band.
He just like makes friends with the zombies and hope they don't attack him.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay, Matt's our kind of negotiator with other survivor groups, because we've all seen Walking Dead, like they all end up killing each other. Matt would make sure we coexisted with other survivor groups, and then I would play songs around the campfire.
You just kind of ease everyone's tension, I guess.
Yeah,
around the
something
campfire.
like that. I mean, yeah, no, maybe I'm the one who's gonna die.
I mean,
That was a damn good answer.
that
Wow.
was. I did not expect you to have that good an
Yeah,
answer for
yeah.
that dumb question.
I had to think about it a little bit.
Yeah, but we don't want to take too much of your time. Just want to thank you for sitting
Dude,
down with us.
Hey, my pleasure.
Thank
And,
you for tuning into Life Behind Barlows.
next time we're going to wake up Matt Nazir so he can
Yes.
be part of this.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have Matt
process.
come next time. But again,
Let's
thanks a
do
lot
this
for coming
again
down.
sometime.
Absolutely,
Awesome.
man.
Definitely, man. Cool.
Appreciate it.